Hello, hello, how are you all? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'll be with you in just a minute. We are live. I'm just checking, yeah, good sound check. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm Mama D in the house with you, and we're going to get some deep dive into Lilly and Jack Sullivan's case. So I took a few minutes, well, a few hours, not even, probably a couple hours, to review this gung-ho stepdad trying to find these children, Lilly and Jack. And is he just absolutely concerned with finding the children, or is there something more going on here? Does some of the things he say leak either hidden or guilty knowledge as to what really happened? That's what we want to know, is what really has happened. Where are these children? In listening to some of the things he says, there's some moments that I'm like, what the actual world are you saying? So I thought I'd share them with you. Music's still playing, sorry. I thought I'd share them with you. Like I said, it's a live. I always miss up some button, but it's real. And I've worked almost 100 cases, and this one is very much causing me concern. I mean, it starts off with the fact that we are being informed that it's been treated suspicious. There's no answer for some of these questions that we have, and the authorities are being very quiet about things. So I want to say hello to a few of my beautiful family members and new faces. So hi, that girl, welcome back. Hi, Karen Bell, Jennifer Swain, my lovely mod, Rage, Zoe, Debbie Gazzardo, all beautiful mods. Thank you. I so appreciate that. Hey, Samantha Kelly, how are you? Viv, good morning. Hi, White Wolf. All right, there's a great deal of you here, so we'll just keep going. So in this, let's get this up on the board. Here's what I've got. Now, I've been in true crime since 2016. And in that, covering as many cases as I have, I'm going to get comfortable. There comes a time where you begin to realize, if you go back to the beginning of a case, that a lot gets said that you miss because so much info is coming out at once and it's a blur and it's confusing. And then later, when the dust settles, people go back and they review what's in the beginning. And so with this case, I am going to stop here in the beginning, and instead of looking at all the other stuff out there, I'm just going to listen, and I'm going to invite you to do the same, to this stepdad talk. Now, I have my opinion and I share it because that's what my platform is about. Speculation. It could be about facts. It could be a theory. It's opinionated, and it's also sharing live opinions, as well as I have commenters that share their opinions. All are welcome. Please keep the graphic details to a nil and void. No graphic details. We want to be careful how we say things, because we are on YouTube and there is guidelines. In other words, we are censored. All right, you guys, so leaking hidden knowledge. Now, there's as many red flags for me personally on the mother. They were together. It makes sense. But today, in order for me to break this down, I'll do the mother another day. I'm mainly focused on the stepdad, who's a boyfriend, and what he says. So let's go ahead and get started. This is bizarre. Your children are missing. I don't feel that I personally would be volunteering to the entire world that my children are that friendly. But to say this, that they want to go with anyone. They want to go with anyone. Let's listen to what Daniel says. He says they'll talk to anyone, and he says they want to go with anyone, which to me is exposing the vulnerability of the children. And it also makes me think that he's broadening the idea that there could be many suspects other than himself almost. Like it could be anybody, right? But the whole idea that he says they want to go with anyone, that's bothersome. Let's listen to his words.
Awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. Awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone.
You feel me? They want to go with anyone. What are your thoughts, you guys? Hey, Tabitha Roadhouse. I'm in Canada, BC. Not sure what he meant by that. Okay, maybe, like I said, I'm open to finding out. That's what all these lives I do are about, is learning. And Detecting Blaine's World says, yes, detachment is often referred to as a department in Nova Scotia. Okay, so Heather says we're rule that detachments aren't in each tiny town. So detachment is a place. So that makes sense. But then when we get to this, why would the children want to leave at all? Why are these children so eager to leave with anyone? Why would they want to go with anyone? Anyone. That bothers me. Does that bother you guys? Julie Byers says they want to go with anyone to get out of that hole. Jim says, I thought the mom said before they don't talk as in autistic. No, that isn't what the mother said. In fact, she said they'll talk to anyone in the store. They talk to everybody in the store, and they're quite vocal. It is odd wording, Viv, that they want to go with anyone. It's weird, right, Cheryl? Want to go with anyone. Weird. No, Viv Hun, the mom never claimed that the children were nonverbal. The mom does not claim that. She states that the children are very verbal, and in fact, she says they talk to everyone in the store. So, no, children won't go with anyone, says Jennifer Swain. Thank you, lovely, for the $49.99 snipper chat. I greatly appreciate that. You are the best. So he's like, you're the best. Rachel's like, love you. Thank you, honey. Nikki says, is he saying someone took them so he had nothing to do with it? It's just strange. It's like, I'm not so sure I would be broadcasting on public airway that my children are eager to leave me and my home when they're missing. And if they are eager and they want to go with anybody else, why? What would make your children so eager to leave? I have an autistic son. He don't go to no one. Never did. But all children are different. Fab Laundry says, I'm in for live for the first time in ages. Good to see you, Fab. Welcome back. Allison says, why keep them both off school if only one was ill? The bus still could have taken Jack. Truthful. All right, let's jump to my next point. I've got quite a few. Past tense. I don't care who you are. When this is said, it is pause. It is a pause to really listen. So what Daniel says is this. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loved, L-O-V-E-D, past tense, doing everything with Jack. She also loved doing everything with Jack. So the question is, why would he say loved as in past tense? This is very early on in the search, right? Let's listen.
There's just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs.
Now, I'm not sure on that one. It sounds like he says Jack just absolutely loved, but I'm not sure on that. We'll play it one more time.
Just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack.
And there he said loved doing everything with Jack. He says first, Lily loves everything girly, but she loved doing everything with Jack.
But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends.
Cheryl Blaine says used loved in the past tense twice. Yeah, what the F, right, Gems? So it makes you wonder, does he have guilty knowledge that is leaking out slowly but surely in these interviews that he's given? Tam says, who runs through water? Who runs through the woods? I don't think you could. And we're going to get into black flies and all kind of stuff. Gems says, love like he knows they ain't here anymore. And says that's really odd. Okay, thank you, Arella. That's why I'm asking. RCMP stations are called detachments in Canada. Thank you for clearing that up. Because I was like, why would you say detachment? Right? I don't know, so I'm learning. Cheryl believes, in her opinion, that he knows they are gone. Loved is part. Loved is past. Loves is present tense. Correct. Okay. Hold on just a minute. All right. Okay. I don't know. I just found that really, really strange. So it sounds like Jack is gone. No, it would be Lily. She also loved. Maybe she can't love Jack anymore. But see, what I'm saying is if Jack is no longer with us, she would still love him. But if Lily is no longer with us, she can't love? I don't know. It's just strange. The wording is worth looking at. And there's more. I have a problem with all these crocodile tears, and it's going to get ugly here because every single person is suspicious to me until proven otherwise when it comes to missing kids. He is the last one that is technically claiming to see Jack alive, as well as who knows about Lily. Let's get into this one. No tears. So you're gonna see Daniel wince so hard and his hand goes up. But what's so weird, and he does it in multiple interviews, when Daniel cries, he doesn't cry tears, and he always makes sure that he's being watched, that he's on camera to do it. It's that sneaky little between the finger kind of thing, and it's that look at the interviewer to make sure that that camera's on. It's also, are you buying what I'm selling kind of check. I've seen it in kids, right? I think you may have too. It's a very bizarre feeling, but he has no tears. So he puts his hand over his face, right? And he winces. I mean, you can just see it. He's like, but when he comes up, it's a sneaky little, and there's no tears. And if it was one interview, that'd be okay, maybe. But he never is truly crying. There are no tears in this man's face that I have seen yet in any of these interviews. So let's look at him and see if he has tears.
He loves bugs, dinosaurs.
Hold on.
Anything like.
Let's go ahead and make him really big for you. I want you to watch his face.
He loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack.
Okay. Let's go ahead. This is when he first comes out of that. Dry eyes. This is a man that does not cry, but fake cries. This is a fake cry. There is no emotion attached to this that is welling up any tears. This is absolutely, you can look at his face. He's got no tears. And never does when he winces and covers his face and comes back up. But let's make this smaller and let's look at his mannerisms as he looks at the reporter, I should say, to make sure that he's being filmed and that it all came out. And almost as if, are you buying my story?
He loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that.
Did you see that quick look at him? Now, if you're truly emotional, you probably don't really want to look at anybody because you are overwhelmed with emotion. You know, you need a minute. You need a second. But when you don't have tears, and the first thing you do when you take, look, he's pulling his hand away. He hadn't even got his hand all the way down. He's already looking focused on the interviewer to see if she's buying this story.
But
There it was, a second look, but right there,
but
there it was, that double take.
Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs.
And right there, he uses that past tense. Exactly, Samantha, you're right. He said she likes girly things and loved playing with Jack. Correct. So, let me get up behind here a little bit. I ain't buying him. Let's continue on. He sure talks about himself every chance he gets, but he draws a very serious conclusion here early on. And that conclusion is something that we never see with innocent parents. They will keep hope alive no matter what. But Daniel chooses a different route. He says, we covered everywhere possible, even in the first day we did. As a matter of fact, selling this hopeless feeling to the public and attaching a feeling that from the first day on is probably a waste of time. But take note also, Daniel makes himself out to be the hero in every single interview. It is about what Daniel's been doing. And yeah, let's listen to this.
We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did.
So there's nowhere else to look. We covered everywhere possible, even in the first day we did. That what you want to tell people? That you want to inspire to help find your children? That you've already looked everywhere? You've covered everything in the first day? How can you possibly be confident in the first day with that terrain? How could you have covered everywhere?
We covered everywhere possible.
Look how confident he is. He's just selling hopelessness by the gallon here.
Even in the first day we did.
Hold on, y'all. Look at the way how confident he is. This is just crazy to me. And this serious conclusion that he knows they covered everywhere and just hopelessness.
We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did.
Do you get that feeling that he's implying looking for the kids is a waste of time? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Exactly, Gems. You get a good story. You get a good story going here. No way they covered the whole area in one day. Nora Beaster says, I know our woods and terrains. It's extremely difficult and not to be underestimated. It's harsh. So I ask you, could they have covered, according to Daniel, they've done it all in one day, that after one day, they've covered everywhere possible? Is that even possible? Vanilla says, do we know if he has mental health issues? No, we do not. Claire, you know you're never late. Thank you for joining us, lovely. That's what I'm picking up, Cheryl, that he doesn't want people to be inspired to search for them or something. It's weird. Hey, Tabitha Roadhouse. The mannerisms definitely make it more solid than it just being a thought. It's strange. It's just terribly strange. So it says stepfather of missing kid pleads for their safe return, which we're going to get into that too. But he has to make himself the hero first, right? And this one's got me. This one's got me. About dropped my hat. I never heard anybody talk like this before with their kids missing. Listen to this one. He steps ahead of everybody. Listen to Daniel.
Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist.
Let's listen to that first part again.
Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that.
So Daniel says he was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones. It almost feels to me like he's saying he steps ahead of everyone, including the authorities and the searchers. You feel me? Like he wanted to be in the lead. So here's the question I would have. Why would Daniel put himself ahead of trained experts and professionals that also have heat-seeking cameras? Why would you put yourself ahead of professionals and experts? I don't get that. Tam says, they said somewhere that the trains are going very slow now. Oh, Lord. You think he might have been high as a kite? I don't know. Is he pre-explain why his DNA is everywhere? Good question, Viv. How does he do that ahead of everything, Cheryl says? Well, that's what I was thinking. That's a good question. It leads me right into this. If he thinks he steps ahead of everybody, you know, remember dispatch said that these kids were last seen at 8 o'clock and they were not reported till 9:40 a.m. as missing. So we're missing an hour and 40 minutes. Daniel very well could be drawing from this idea that he is well ahead of any authorities. I'm just saying. Good question, Lorna. Maybe he's trying to direct them in the wrong direction. Jem says he must run very fast. The black flies alone are horrific, I've heard, that'll just eat you alive. That are thick swarms of black flies. Also, if it's so thick that they're having to move slowly, but Daniel's coming on these interviews and he's only got one scratch right here, he would have been cut to ribbons all over his neck, his face. Have you ever tried to run through the woods? Let me tell you, this country girl, we know you'd be covered in damage. Try and run through the woods. Try and run through the Nova Scotia woods too. Look at that. That looks dry as a popcorn fart. It looks to me like it'd scratch the hell out of you and cut you up. It would, as in Chris Tinnegrief said in the Jay Slater case, shred ya, man. And he's not shredded. It's weird. Cheryl believes, in her opinion, that he sounds like a narcissist. Cheryl says that's true, the missing time. We have a lot of missing time, don't we? because these kids weren't in school on on Wednesday. They were in school on Tuesday. Let me correct myself. They were not in school on Wednesday because there was no school for teacher service or whatever. But then Thursday, there's no kids in school, and they should be, because Lily has a cough. What about Jack? Why he ain't in school? And then Friday, aren't your kids supposed to be in school that day too? Yeah, they're supposed to be. But no, you're in bed, because it takes two of you to feed the baby. How interesting. Sean Shack says, setting himself up for when police start getting information from the neighbor. That could be too. All right, let's listen for a minute. Why is Daniel always making it about what Daniel's done? He has to be prompted by the interviewer to get back on track in why the interview is taking place, which is about the missing kids. This is damn right embarrassing. But before I play you that interview, I grabbed a couple so that we could just listen to him from interview to interview and listen to what he says.
Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, and just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
Where are the tears? Too bad they didn't let that roll, right? Okay, let's listen to another one.
The very first day, I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt.
Oh. Every time he says that, that's that cue, to get waffly in your voice, right? To show emotion. All right, let's go again.
I had no idea. I'm still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the searchers are so far. I had no idea.
So basically the searchers told you to get the hell out of the way, Daniel. That's what my take is. Let's listen to the interviewer who tries to get him back on track. Why he's given an interview isn't about Daniel, but to remind Daniel what the message is about, which is the children. I wonder, can Daniel jump back that quick into the truth and actually remember the children's names?
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. 2 little kids are still out there.
Let's hear that one more time. I'm going to make it real big so you can watch his face. Remember, all the interviews, it's always about Daniel, right?
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. 2 little kids are still out there.
2 little kids are still out there, you guys. That's what he said. Corinne says Daniel grew up on that property. He knows it inside and out. Yeah, well, that could be also to his advantage in other ways than just finding children, right? I'm just saying, until these children are found and we know what happened, I'm considering these parents extremely suspicious. And equally so because they were together, and it's all or none when you're together and the kids go missing. So that's the way I feel. Tabitha says he sounds like he's trying to act. A narcissist has to mimic emotions and really try to fake empathy, but they don't have it, so it doesn't come out right, in your opinion. Thank you, Tabitha. Okay, let's continue. This is the problem. Why would you say, remember, there are 2 kids out there? Why would you not take that moment, if you believe your children are abducted, to say their names and try to get that abductor to see your children as individual human beings that have parents and family, and instead, remember, there's 2 little kids out there. right? Why not say, please remember Lilly and Jack need to be found immediately? Why not say that? Why say 2 little kids?
2 little kids are still out there.
I don't get it. Heather says no one uses their names, neither parent. Well, he does. Remember? We went back up and we talked about the name being used past tense for Lily. Yeah. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loved doing everything with Jack. So he is saying their names. It's just he took that opportunity, like he was redirected off of himself so quickly, because the interviewer's like, let's remember the message here, you know? And he was like, oh, yeah, the message. Oh, remember there's 2 little kids out there. Call if you, yeah. Because he knew he got caught being self-absorbed, right? When it's supposed to be about these kids. But every interview is Daniel playing the superhero. He's always the superhero. He ran through the water. He's the one that couldn't get back in the woods until the military guys said he could, right? And yeah, when he pulls away and does this, he's always peeking to see if the interview's watching. He's always like, you know, and no tears. Those are all very suspicious behaviors of any missing parent. I would point this out no matter what, because it's uncomfortable feeling. It feels wrong. Aw. Cheryl says, I love Lily and Jack and I want them home. Safe and sound, right? Yeah, he's playing the superhero, K-Clans. C-I-N Cincy. Sancy? I don't know how to say your name, lovely. K-Seance? I'm going to call you K. He's odd, right, K? Allison says, so overly helpful with the searchers, but couldn't supervise the kids while the baby was being fed. Tina Girl says, I think they both know. It's not the whole family that lived on the compound. Right. I say story because it's a story, not truthful, in your opinion. Thank you, Heather. Debbie Gazzardo says, actions speak louder than words, and he knows what happened in my opinion. Sydney Holmes says, nor do the parents look like they are going to sleep. I would have been hot mess. Samantha says, I think because he says she loves girly things, sounds like she is still here, but loved playing with Jack, she cannot do because Jack is no longer, in my opinion. Well, I'm just going to tell you, in my humble opinion, and that's all it is, take it with a grain of salt, please discern and hold your own opinion. I'm just sharing mine. It's all or none in this case. It's all or none with both parents. They either both know or they don't. And I feel that whatever happened to one child led to the other one. I think that's connected too. So if one isn't here, I don't think the other is. Does that make sense? Norbeaster says, I'm wondering why she blocked the stepdad on social media. So I just got to throw this out here. I was thinking about this. If I felt like my ex-partner, right, might know anything about my kids, I would be playing kiss 'em up, right? I would be like, oh, sweetheart, tell me everything you know. Yeah, come on, be my baby. Tell me everything. I would not be so distant unless I learned something that gave me the evidence to cinch the case, right? I know where my babies are. But until I knew where my babies were, he would become my best friend, and I don't care who thought whatever. ever of me, I would be like, yep, put a wiretap on me. There you go. All right, I'm going to go in and I'll work him like I know how, because I'm his partner. I know all his buttons. So I'll get him to start talking about it with me, right? But that's not happening. She's actually cutting off communication with the only other person that may know what happened. That is also super sus to me. Yeah, she did. She absolutely did, Bunny. Bunny says, I heard Mom got back on her Facebook page and changed to being single, but didn't mention the kids. She did show in her profile picture, finally, instead of them two as a couple being on there, she switched it to pictures of Jack and Lily. But she went on there also to change her relationship status to single. Exactly, Neuro. Neuro V says he did a mixture of present and past. Is he a wolf in sheep's clothing? He's playing a superhero. And the more he doth protest, the more he looks guilty, as she does to me. They both look guilty. Doesn't mean they are? No. Doesn't mean they are. They are still innocent until proven guilty. Is cap? I don't know what that means, Ryan Lovely. Detecting Blaine's World says baby bonus and rug dealing. I'll have to keep that off the screen because we can't say that. Rug dealing to start may be worse than the neighbors said, traffic in and out all the time. It's very concerning. Very concerning. My worst fear, I'll be honest, my absolute worst fear is while these two lazy arse people are in there probably not even tending to the baby, letting their children run around with overnight pull-ups that is fully loaded. You and I both know that. Lily may have decided to make her brother and her some breakfast and grab something that wasn't sugar to put in their cereal because she's a kid and see something on the counter. I don't know. I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying that's my worst fear. Sydney says she also said they can talk people's ears off. And on Facebook, she says nonverbal. Actually, it wasn't her. It was an aunt that said nonverbal. Ryan says vanilla is almost the common sense at this point. I'm not sure how to interpret that, Lovely. Lorna says, has she maybe changed her Facebook status in hope that the public focuses on him as opposed to her? Yeah, to distance herself. Is the guilty knowledge getting at her and she don't want to be around or associated with him? I don't know. Cheryl says, I think his mom told him to stop talking to cameras. Allison says, I feel if they were genuine, they would be sticking together at such a worrying time. Well, and that don't make them genuinely innocent either. Jacqueline and Trezell West stuck together like super glue. They were guilty. And we know what happened to those two little foster babies, Classic and Sincere. We just don't know where their bodies are. Kay says bus driver said semi-verbal or something, right? And that's the concern. They're blabbing about how these kids can talk, It almost is an underlying thing that could have been something they were worried about. Were they worried with all this new talk, right? Talk, and now we're getting into school. Were they worried that the kids were going to talk to anyone they wanted about something? I don't know. Even the McCanns and the Ramseys stuck together. What the heck? Tabitha, right. Michelle says, could they speak or did the aunt not see them? I don't know. She was just wrong according to both of the parents. So I don't know. It's all very concerning. It all makes me wonder, will they be found? We're going to stay up to date, and I'm going to keep analyzing and looking. I ask you to do the same. It's all opinion from us. But the fact that Daniel says past tense that Lily, she also loved doing everything with Jack, that's a shake my head kind of moment. I pray for their safe return of both Lily and Jack Sullivan. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again very soon. Hit the like button, subscribe, support the channel, and I love you to the moon and back. Thank you, my beautiful moderators. Thank you, Jennifer Swain. Love you all. Bye for now. Oh, the poll? Shoot. You guys caught me. I was just hitting the button and I saw somebody said the poll. All right. We'll get back into our music. The poll. A, B, C. Which one is it? Do you feel the children were missing longer than 20 minutes? A, if your answer is A, no, they heard them minutes before. All right. If you choose B, and you can play along at home, B, your answer is yes, could be missing since Tuesday night. Or you answer C, not sure what to think. All right. The answer in the least favorite area, no, they heard the minutes before. So 4% out of 151 votes, 4% are believing the parents. That's it, 4%. Not sure what to think is 19% with answer C. And our favorite answer for the poll by the majority of 77% is answer B. Yeah, they could be missing since Tuesday night. And could that be why the dogs aren't picking up their scent leaving the property? Did they get taken off the property in a vehicle much sooner? I don't know. I pray for justice for Lily and Jack. All right, for real, Mama D out of here. I will see you again soon. Hit that like, as they say, smash it. Subscribe if you haven't, so you know when I'm live again. I'll see you again very soon. Love you. Bye for now.